In this use case, we will learn how to build a quote request form using Titan Survey's advanced integration with Salesforce. We will learn how to add a survey list, file upload, select, and other advanced question types. Customize questions. And use conditions to control how the questions are displayed. Map questions with Salesforce. Set up a custom question flow. And distribute the survey using the object distribution method. Let's start. Christine is a Salesforce integrator at JFS Limited, the largest chemical producer in the country. The marketing department has asked her to help update the existing quote request form and integrate it with the data stored on Salesforce. The form will be available to customers on the company's website and must accommodate different customer types in 3 categories, being existing customers, former customers, and new customers. New and former customers must provide additional information, including their hazardous materials permit. Before starting, Christine prepared in advance a digital copy of the form, a folder with the logo and image. Finally, she makes sure that the integration with Salesforce is active. First, Christine creates a new web survey project. And continues with the blank template selected. She begins by customizing the start slide. She adds the title and deletes the description. Then, to match the company's branding, she uploads the company logo. And an image. The marketing department requested that the form accommodates 3 types of customers, being existing, former, and new customers. However, only former and new customers must submit corporate details with their request. After considering several implementation options, Christine decides to create a condition between 2 types of question elements: a mapped select question displaying customer types, and a text question for existing customers to enter their company ID number. First, she adds a select question, then maps it in Salesforce with the relevant object and field. Before moving on to the next question, she adds a placeholder and sets the question as mandatory. Next, Christine adds a text question for collecting the company ID number of existing customers. She pastes the question title. And in the Content tab, she sets the placeholder text and adds a field mask. Next, she chooses to hide this element upon loading the page. Now that the 2 questions have been added, Christine can set up the condition that will display the company ID number question when existing customer is selected. Under the Conditions tab, Christine clicks on the Configure Condition button. In the Edit Node window, she adds the new condition, being if the field contains the word existing. Then she clicks the Next button. If the condition is met, the company ID number field should appear. She configures this by adding a new affected element rule to show the field. If the condition is not met, the question should not display to the respondent. This is configured using the else condition. The hide condition is added so that if existing customer is accidentally selected, the question will disappear once a different customer type is selected. Before moving on to the next step, Christine saves and previews the project. As you can see, the company ID number field is displayed only when the existing customer option is selected. The marketing department can issue a quote only upon receiving full customer details. Non-active customers must provide their business and corporate details beforehand. Christine adds the following questions. She replaces the placeholder text. Next, Christine sets the fields that will collect the customer's corporate details. The following questions will be mandatory. For the telephone number question, she adds a field mask to set the input format. He asks the respondents for the name of their companies. Which industry their company is in, which is a multi-select question mapped to the industry type pick list in Salesforce. Their geographical locations of operation. This is a survey list mapped to the pick list holding geographic marketing areas. And a file upload question for submitting a notarized copy of the company's hazardous materials permit. All of these questions will be mandatory. The next 3 questions will hold the quote request details. First, Christine adds an information slide and titles it Quote Details. The first field is a select question, mapped to the product's pick list in Salesforce. The second field is a number question for providing the requested quantity in tons. The third field is a date question for the requested delivery date. In order to minimize the risk for errors, the marketing department requested customers review their requested quote details and approve them before submitting. Christine chooses to implement this using a checkbox question. Then, she uses the Insert Field option in the Custom HTML menu to insert the customer's answers from previous slides. And sets it to be mandatory. Christine customizes the finished slide by adding a title and description. And then uploading an image. With all the slides built, Christine can move on to setting up the form's question flow. As we've seen, there are 2 survey journeys. New and former customers are required to provide business details, while existing customers are automatically redirected to the Quote Details section of the form. Christine implements this using the custom flow settings. First, she adds all slides. Then, she adds a condition to the customer type question. If the respondent is an existing customer, they are redirected to the Quote Request slide. If not, they are directed to the New Customer Details slide. Now that the survey is complete, it's time for Christine to send it out to customers. For this survey, she will use the object distribution method. She chooses the contact option to identify the recipients. Then she selects Contact ID, which will identify the respondent. Christine adds a condition to filter the list of respondents. This survey will be sent via email. Christine can select the sender's email addresses from a drop-down list when setting up her custom email. She chooses email from the drop-down list. This is the email of the respondent who will receive the survey. Christine adds a subject to her email and ensures that the FT web survey URL is in the email body. The survey will be sent on the last Friday of July.